Hey, everybody, welcome back to the A to Jump podcast. My name is Jacob. I'm also known as Gooba of the YouTube channel Gooba and Jetpack. And as always, I'm joined by my co host Justin of Justin Games. Justin, how we doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Lovely. I am I am wonderful.
Great. See, you are one take, Jake. You did it in one
I
try this time.
yes. A little
There's one
behind the
time
scenes for everybody. The last time I tried to intro, I think I had to do like 5 times.
and I tried to add a little blooper of that to the end of that video and I lost it somehow.
Oh
Da,
man.
da Vinci wiped it out. I don't know how that happened, but it was good. Lost forever though.
Well. You live and you learn.
That's right. Well, all right, we got not a super packed show, but Jake posted a new video to his YouTube channel, which is very good. He'll talk about that.
Thank you.
PlayStation announced a state of play for tomorrow, the 23rd of February. Today's the 22nd, so we won't be able to talk about that. But we know what they're going to talk about a little bit, I guess.
Sort of.
There was a Nintendo Direct, so we'll go through all those announcements.
Mm-hmm.
And then our random reviews segment. I think we're finally ready to bust them open, talk about them. I took some notes, stuff like that. And then if there's time, maybe we'll bust into The Last of Us. See how quickly we breeze through this. Otherwise, be on the next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, we had a comment, not on our last video, but on the one for it, from Nathan Castelli. He asks, what IP would you like to see get the Dynasty Warriors treatment? I know you've never played a Dynasty Warriors style
Not
game.
one.
And I've only played one, which is Fire Emblem Three Hopes. But I really liked that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, I'd say keep making Fire Emblem ones. I'll keep playing them.
Okay.
Now I know Nintendo also makes Zelda Dynasty Warriors type games.
Yeah, it was like Hyrule Warriors, I think it was called.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors. I'm forgetting Age of Calamity.
Yeah.
I haven't played that one. I would like to play that, but I really struggled on this one. I wasn't sure, and then I randomly saw a tweet that said they were working on a Final Fantasy Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, yeah, that's right up your alley.
That's perfect because it's a really established franchise. And there's 1,000 different enemy types. It would work super well for that type of formula, and I think they can add that little Final Fantasy touch to it. And I would play that for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, that not a type of game that I've ever gotten into. But yeah, I can definitely see how a Final Fantasy one that's kind of mixing your favorite series with a genre that you seem to enjoy.
Yeah, a different style of gameplay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I've only played Fire Emblem Three Hopes, but they added a lot of little Fire Emblem elements. Like there's some strategy to it, like which units are good against which different types of units and stuff like that. So I think they do a good job of adding that Fire Emblem feel to a very different gameplay style. So if they can keep doing that with Final Fantasy, I mean that would be really interesting and really.
Yeah. That's a cool thing. Like they're when you hear like they're doing this with different series or different characters or whatever, you kind of think it's gonna be like the exact same game, just reskinned. And it's cool that they're adding in some features of these other of the games that they're being based on.
Exactly.
Like it's not just now you can do this, but you're playing as Zelda or whatever. Like they actually add in things that are prominent to that series. I think that's cool.
I think that's really cool. And I think that's what makes it fun and unique. And for someone that's a Fire Emblem fan, which is turn-based strategy, and then making it a big action.
Mhm.
That makes it interesting, fun, different, but also has the same.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only one we got. But as always, if stumble upon this video and you like video, leave us a comment, question, whatever. Shout you out. We'll read it, try to answer it, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as it's nice, better be
Yeah.
nice. Reading it,
If you're mean to us, we will be sad and we will cry.
I will cry.
It'll be
I'm
very uncomfortable.
I am 30 years old now, which means I cry all the time,
Yep.
especially watching Last of Us.
Well, yeah, that's. I think everyone falls in that category.
Unavoidable at that point.
Yeah.
But Jake, you posted a new video
I did.
about easy mode. I can't remember the name of it exactly.
Yeah. So the video is called "It's Okay to Play on Easy Mode,
Mm-hmm.
but Not Every Game Needs One."
Sure.
And it's basically, you know, the premise of the video is right there in the title. But
Mm-hmm.
I had the idea for this like back when Elden Ring first came out, because that's anytime a From Software game comes out, that's when this debate really ramps up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's there's a lot of videos about just this debate in general. But I feel like they usually fall on one side or the other. It's like either no game needs an easy mode, get good, scrub, or every game needs an easy mode. Um, and my views kind of land right in the middle. Like, I think that games need to have the options that make them playable for everybody. Um, but they also shouldn't make it easier than it was intended to be, if that makes sense.
Yep, it does.
Like, make it playable, but not make it easy. Um, so yeah, it's kind of, I guess you would consider it a controversial topic. And that's why it took a really long time to
Yeah.
get it out there, because I think I had the idea for it last year around this time, and then when I finally got around to writing it, it took like 2 months, and then editing it took like 4 months. So
I noticed you were in your old apartment
yeah, there's a
for your voiceover stuff.
yeah, at the very end there was I put a little text at the bottom of the screen that said, "We don't even live in this apartment anymore."
I didn't notice that.
And actually,
That's
we don't even
hilarious.
live in that state anymore.
Yeah, wrong
That's how
end of
long
the
it took.
wrong end of the country now. Besides being genuinely hilarious, Gooba Gooberson made
Thank
me
you.
LOL. That was really funny. I mean, you bring up some good points, and I I don't know. I like that FromSoft, the Soulsborne genre is kind of a niche genre for those
Mhm.
people that like that really tough challenge, and it sucks for those that can't play it
Mhm.
like myself, who just I wouldn't have fun with that type of game. I would get frustrated too quick and I get bored and never play it again.
Mhm.
But I think what it all boils down to, I think I left a comment under your video. That's it boils down to choices. Like if you
Mhm.
want that really tough experience, you can have it, or you can make it a really easy experience. I go back to like one of my favorite games from last year, Horizon Forbidden West,
Mhm.
where if you want to put that game on story, which I've done, doing like some of the side stuff at the after I beat the game, I
Mhm.
put it on story and just wanted to go upgrade all my gear and you do. I mean, you can crush enemies in no time. You barely
Yeah.
lose health. You could rip through that story in no time. But when I first started, you put it on normal and just see how you do. And as I kind of realized it's I'm kind of killing everything really easy. I'm not really struggling. I'll bump up that difficulty. I did that a couple times, and then that's when the challenge gets more fun, I think. is when you're able to like gradually do that, and then I think that's a better experience for me
Mhm.
anyway. But I think it's cool that the FromSoft is kind of has that niche to it. But yeah, I don't know if I want FromSoft to put difficulty settings in their games. I guess I don't care.
I
But yeah, like
think
kind of like you said, not every game needs it.
mhm. I think what I cuz before I took the time to do research and start writing that video, I was kind of on the fence of, or I was in the group that was like, yeah, give it easy mode. Who cares? Because I had never really gotten into that type of game.
Huh?
Since then, I have gotten pretty far into Elden Ring. I still haven't beaten it yet because I'm not good, but I can understand the appeal of that massive challenge.
Yeah,
Um, and I think I've gone away from the idea of starting, like, choosing a difficulty right from the beginning. Um, and I'm more leaning towards another thing that I talked about in the video, which is assist modes. Um, like having a set difficulty, but then being able to tweak certain aspects of the game. Um, so like, because the way that I think a lot of games do, like the difficulty selection is, it's just raising and lowering numbers. So
yep,
if you go on easy mode, like take this boss that has 1,000 health and then drop him to 500. Like the bar is going to look the same, but it's going to take a lot less to bring him down,
yeah,
and you're going to be able to get hit a lot more. And like that's cool, but it kind of doesn't really. It kind of takes away something, in my opinion.
hmm,
Like if you can get hit like a million times and not die, then you're not really like overcoming the challenge. Um, where if you can do things to make it so you can take on that enemy at their full strength, but do it in your own way, where you're not like you're overcoming a challenge, but it's still doable for you. I think.
hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense, and it
I,
probably wouldn't
right?
really like fit into every game, but
Yeah,
that's just the way I think would it, like make things more playable for everybody or more people at least.
I agree. I found it interesting. I can't remember which console it was. It was one of the Ataris that had a physical switch
Yeah, is the
that changes
2600.
difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what would happen when you flip that switch? Okay, it's just weird that it had a physical thing instead of like a software. It was a hardware aspect, not a software aspect, where you went in settings of the game and changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just seems weird that every single game on the Atari 2600 have a difficulty setting.
I think it would probably. So the only thing that I could really think of that would make sense is that it just changes the speed, maybe.
Okay, that makes
Like,
sense.
so if you're playing something like, and I don't even know if this was a game on the
Right.
system, but
Yeah,
say
right.
you're playing like Space Invader or whatever,
Okay.
turn the difficulty up to advanced, and all of the enemy ships are just fat, like two
Going way
times
faster.
faster. So
That
you
makes
have to
total
be able to
sense.
move quicker, and like it's faster reflexes or whatever. That's the only thing that I could really think of.
That makes
But
total sense. Yeah.
yeah, but
What A stood for what? Alpha.
Super Alpha Giga Chad. that was a that was a
Oh
joke I
my
thought
god.
of, like just while I was doing my research and I saw that uh the switches were A and B. I was like, well, B could stand for beta. That'd be pretty funny. Like,
Hmm.
so I just kind of, that was a joke that I think I told Becca about it. I was like, I thought of this joke and I don't know if it's gonna work. And I said it,
Oh,
and she was like, "Yeah, that's good."
that was hilarious. Super Alpha Giga Chad.
Yeah, and I think the little skit at the beginning, the Gooba Gooberson, I
Yeah.
think that was the first idea I had for the video. Like before I even knew what it was gonna be, I was just like, I was like, if I made a video about easy mode or whatever, it'd be really funny to sell it as like an infomercial.
Yep. That was good. This ever happened to you?
Yeah, that one. That was the last thing I did on the video, but I was really proud of how that turned out.
Yeah, it's really good. And if you watching ever wanted to know what Jake was like when he was in high school, he is the exact same playing video games. Where he's the things he says, like, "Oh, come on, oh, darn it!" Like that is exactly how he sounded. What 15 years ago?
It has not changed at all.
It hasn't. It's hilarious watching that video and hearing you do that stuff. It like took me back to your basement trying to play games.
Fuck, son of a bitch.
Oh, I got him. I swear I got him.
I shot him, I swear.
I swear. So
that was, oh man.
Yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed your video. But if you're not following Jake on Jake and girlfriend Becca's channel, I'll link to his new video in the description. Check it out. It's very funny.
Thank you.
Also informative. Let's see. We'll move on that to what we've been playing. I haven't been playing very much. I've been trying to finish up Shantae, Seven Sirens. I played that a little bit last night.
Mm-hmm.
The night before, I've been still dabbling in Fire Emblem. I haven't beat it yet. I kind of hit a wall, a difficulty wall. Like I said, I put it on hard, and I kind of breezed through the first half. No really any issues, and then there's like a story element that really changes things and makes it way more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggled. I had to go put it on easy and get through the rest of the fights, which sucks because you can't change it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't move it back to hard. So once it's on easy forever. So I made a separate save file for my easy mode that maybe I can go back and keep going on hard and try to beat it. But I'm still enjoying it. Still fun. Easy mode is so easy now.
Yeah.
No challenge at all. So I wish there was maybe something in between easy and hard. Or normal and hard. It's not normal. But yeah, not too much to talk about there. What about you, Jake? What have you been up to? What are you playing?
Yeah, well, I've been I've dabbled in my random reviews game, the sorry, there was a gnat or something on my screen.
Disgusting.
I've been dabbling in my random reviews game, which was Assault Android Cactus Plus.
Yes, of course, who could forget?
Which we'll get into that in a little bit. And I started there's a series that I started on our YouTube channel like a year ago, called Games I Should Have Played, where I pick out a game from, back in the day or something that came out a while ago that people seem to really like that I just never really got into. And I kind of abandoned that series, but I'm trying to get back into that. So I'm playing a game for that right now, which I don't know if I want to say it yet. I might want to wait until the video comes out.
Yeah.
But playing that, and then I've been playing some Hogwarts Legacy as well.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I know it's a controversial game. So all I really will, just a little bit, yeah. So all I really am going to say about that is that the game is very good. Shout out to, is it Avalanche Software or Avalanche Studios that did it?
I don't know. Avalanche.
I don't know. Yeah, Avalanche people. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a lot of fun. with that said, I want to put on record, I think, for both of us, JK Rowling sucks. We do not support her views in any way. And trans people deserve rights.
They do.
But yeah, that's, I don't want to get into, all of
Yeah.
that debate. I think that could be it.
What do you think about the game? Is the game fun?
Yeah. I would like to separate the game from her name.
Yeah.
And just say that the game is fun. It's kind of what I would imagine a true RPG of the Wizarding World to be, because I grew up a pretty big Harry Potter fan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's lived up to my expectations in a lot of ways, just being
Good.
able to explore this big world and learn all these spells and stuff, fly a broom. Like, I think it's been really well realized.
Good. I've seen a ton of stuff on TikTok. Really,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people love it. It looks really good.
Oh yeah.
People seem to be loving it.
Mm-hmm.
How does like the spell system work? Because I know it's kind of a choice whether you get the bad spells
Yeah.
and stuff
So
like that. So how does is it like a skill tree? Like, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I really have no desire to play this game. So I know nothing about it. So how does like the spells and stuff? That's what I'm most curious.
so the actual mechanic of it is pretty interesting. So you have your kind of like base spell, which is just like basically an impact spell. You can spam that as many times as you need to. It's takes little chunks of health. And then you have your special spells, which um, honestly, most of them you're taught pretty early on. Because like you have to learn each new spell, and for most of them, like I won't get into like how the story goes into it, but a professor will teach you most of these spells, and a lot of them are like violent spells. So none of like um the like unforgivable curses or anything. I haven't gotten
Hmm.
any of those yet, but you can like on the spell tree or whatever, it shows like the three unforgivable curses at the bottom. So
Okay.
like you, and the way that you actually use them is um so R2 or right trigger or whatever is your casting spell. So if you just hit that by itself, then that just does your normal cast. Um but if you hold that and then use the uh I can't like X triangle square circle like
Hmm. The
I
face
forget what those
buttons.
are. The face
Face
buttons,
buttons.
thank you.
Yeah.
Fake gamer.
Yeah.
Um if you hold right trigger and then hit one of those, that will do one of your special spells. And each of those are on a cooldown. So
Okay.
and you obviously learn more than four spells, so then you can go in and actually like assign, you can change them as many times as you want. You can assign them to different buttons. Um and then eventually you can unlock different um face button combos. So like you can uh have like one set of four as like your attack ones, and then another set as your like utility ones, like things that you
Okay.
can like do use to move stuff around and stuff, like
That's cool.
because it's not all combat related.
Sure.
um but yeah, and you can change those as many times as you want. um you can also set like fast equip things, like you can have your broom set to like you just hold like your inventory button and then hit circle, and then your broom will magically appear and you can take off.
Sweet.
Like,
Is
yeah,
it fairly open?
yeah,
Is it? Okay.
yeah,
So
it's big.
you can leave the school and just kind of explore areas and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so you can, so obviously the school is like fully realized, like you can explore the entire thing. And then there's the only like I don't know how much they really get into in like the movies and the books. I know that Hogsmeade is like the main sort of hub village that you can go to,
Okay.
and that has like all the different shops and stuff. There's a bunch of like side quests you can do there, but then you can like there's a bunch of smaller villages kind of spread out. You can go into the Forbidden Forest, which spans like the entire western side of the map pretty much. Um, and like you can go swim in this massive lake that surrounds the castle. Like it's big. It would take a while to get from like top to bottom on the
Okay.
whole thing.
Cool. I wasn't sure if maybe you just got to explore like the school grounds and like most of the stuff you do was in the school or whatever. Um.
Yeah. No, it's like honestly most of the stuff isn't in the school.
Okay. Well,
Like
that's
you
pretty
do
cool.
a you do a fair bit in the school, and like you what I thought it was going to be when it first came out, I was like I kind of thought it was going to be like Bully, like
Okay.
where you have to get to class at a certain time, or like
Mm-hmm.
you can't be caught outside of the school at night or whatever. And it's not like that at all. Like there are classes that you can go to and you can learn things, but they're like quests. um so like you go to it and you don't have to like sit through the class. Like usually it'll do a cutscene, and then once you get to the skill that you're there to learn, it'll get more hands on. But it's not like every day you have to go to these classes or whatever. It's like it'll just show up on uh
Okay. Do you
your
like
quest list.
do you like that? Would you rather it be a little more structured, or do you like just kind of the openness?
No, I like the openness. I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
it's yeah. I think it would get boring very quickly having to
Okay.
like having a strict schedule. Like you have to go to class at this time and you have to
Hmm.
like keep your grades up and whatever. Like I think that could work for some games, but for this it's good to
Okay.
be able to go do whatever you want.
I kind of think of it as like a persona comparison where
Hmm.
you have a morning and evening and a night, and you can like only do one thing in those three parts of the day. So if you wanna, morning you got to go to class, except on the weekends, or in like during the afternoon, you can, there's a million different activities you can do, but you can only pick one. So
Hmm.
I guess it's kind of cool that there's nothing like that. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Is there much of like a social aspect to it? Like, are you meeting new characters, getting to know them, quote unquote, leveling up your relationship with them or anything like that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So there are like one thing that I will give them credit for is like as you're walking around the school, like there's people doing all sorts of things. Like it's not a lot of just NPCs standing around. Like people have been given dialogue and they talk to each other and they practice spells and like all this stuff. Um, but you can't really interact with a lot of them unless they have a quest for you. So like uh at some cases like after you finish a class you can um walk up to your classmates and just hit a prompt and it'll say like one line between the two of you and then you move on. Like it doesn't
Sure.
even cut to like the dialogue
Right.
view. um but then most of the time the only people like you there's a few specific like classmates that you have quest lines for so that you can talk to them and then you can go on a quest or they have some sort of thing that you can do. um and it says that you're building up your friendship, but it doesn't really seem to do anything necessarily. I think it's just a quest line that you can follow.
Okay. So there's no like romance or anything like that.
Not that I've gotten to, at least. I don't, granted,
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
I'm that far, but.
Okay. So you can't romance Professor Garlic like everybody seems to want to.
No, unfortunately
S-
not.
Sorry, everybody. um,
Sorry, guys.
that's most of the TikToks I've seen is Professor Garlic,
I think we watched one last night that was like kind of talking about that.
It's pretty funny. And my other favorite one is once people learn the killing curse or killing
Mhm.
spell or whatever it's called, and they just go around and murder random students just for saying like,
Dude,
"Off on another adventure, are we?" Dead. Cracks me up.
oh, I'm exactly the same way, and it's frustrating because I haven't learned it yet.
I can't
They
wait to
probably
kill you.
like they probably do that for a reason because it's like you just be that's all you would do right
Yeah,
from the beginning.
yeah. You can't murder everybody from the
Yeah.
beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Take a
And my
break.
understanding is that those curses have a really long cooldown. Like so you're not
Sure.
going to be able cuz combat can get intense. There can be like 10 or 15 people that you have to deal with all at once and
Cool.
you're pretty like it's pretty fast paced, like you're pretty nimble, you can dodge and parry and all that stuff. Um but they probably made that a extra long cooldown so you can't just be like Avada Kedavra, Avada Kedavra, Avada, like
Murder everything.
just drop everybody all at once.
Would you say it's does it have like a good comparison game or is it pretty unique in its
Um,
combat and style and stuff like
I don't necessarily think it's unique. Like in a general game sense, it's a lot like other open world RPGs that we've played. I don't know a specific I want to say Witcher, but it's not like there's not as much in terms of,
I'm talking?
customization and um you can't like do as much with like your skills or whatever. Um yeah, I guess I don't know. It's unique in that it's the first game of its kind where you can play as like
Yeah.
a wizard in this world or witch, sorry. Um but in terms of just general open world RPGs, it's got all of the things that you would expect. It has
Okay.
the like skill tree and there's fetch quests and you go on some trailing missions. Like it kind of hits all of those sort of staples. Um, but really, where it's different is just the fact that it is in the Harry Potter universe.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So overall, good.
Good. I'm
Good.
enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I like it when good games come out.
Like
Um,
it when good games are good.
I like it when good games come out and they're good and people like that
Yeah.
makes me happy. Like, especially like games that are hyped to be good
Yeah.
and they come out and they're actually good. That makes me
Hmm.
happy.
Yeah.
Even if it's
It
not
was.
my thing. I'm glad when other people pick games they like.
Yeah. It's one of those. It was one of those that I was skeptically optimistic for. And unlike the other one that I was the same way about, Forspoken, it actually mostly lived up to the hype, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Hogwarts did.
Yeah,
Not first book.
not the other one. No.
Not the other way around.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up I played I'm going to try to get at least a good chunk of Near done. I uploaded a
Hmm.
few more videos
Yeah, I saw that.
this week. Um I'm definitely not going to get through it all soon. I want to with the new Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming out.
Hmm.
I want to play through Fallen Order for
Oh
that.
yeah.
So I started it, never finished it. I'd like to get through that and then just go right into Jedi Survivor.
Hmm.
Um, the near so I'm in the second route. I'm in 9S's perspective of the opening of the game.
Hmm.
I really want to. Hopefully, I can get through a big chunk of that game, or I need to start Fallen Order because I'm so curious. Like, there's just so many questions still unanswered. I play games for their story. I like story based games,
Hmm.
and I can tell the story is interesting, but they're just drip feeding it to you. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can get through that a good chunk. And maybe that'll probably just be a game
Mm-hmm.
play for a really long time if there's really 26 endings to that game.
Yeah.
Figure out how to get through. Okay, so that's what we've been playing. Um, PlayStation did announce, I think yesterday, that they're having a state of play
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, Thursday the 23rd. In the tweet, they said they're going to focus on indie studios, third-party studios, exclusive look at Kill the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't care less about.
Yeah.
Um, I am interested to see how this is reviewed, or is it how it's received? Because the last DC game, what Gotham Knights, didn't really do that well. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Not a game for me at all, really.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, I'm like you said, I'm interested to see how it turns out. Is it by the same studio as like the Arkham series?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because like those games, I know they're good, or they were for the most part well received. I played a fair bit of Arkham Knight, the most recent one.
Hmm.
Um and I did enjoy that, but it's very repetitive. Like you just a lot of kind of button mashing type combat.
Mm-hmm.
Um
So Rocksteady is the developer of the series, and they are the
mhm.
ones developing Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Who did? They didn't also do Gotham Knight.
I don't think so.
No, Warner Brothers Montreal did that.
Mhm.
Okay, so maybe it'll be different enough. That'll stick a little bit better for everybody.
Yeah, I hope so, cuz I mean, I don't know if I'll play it, but
I have a lot of
I think
thoughts on
if they
I have a lot of thoughts on superhero games, whether or not they're good or if anybody really even wants them.
mhm.
But maybe that's a topic for a
Yeah,
different
we could probably
episode.
do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
The only superhero game that I've ever truly gotten into, which I think we've talked about on here, is the Marvel Spider-Man
Hmm.
and Miles Morales.
Yeah,
Fantastic games. I think Spider-Man is probably the perfect superhero to have a video game about.
I agree. He's just got just enough cool powers.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Like,
haven't played any of the Arkham games. A lot of people love. Yeah, like we said, maybe that's a topic for.
yeah.
Um.
If
So sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if they can recapture some of the magic from the original Arkham series, maybe throw in a few like little twists that more fit the Suicide Squad angle of it.
Hmm.
Um, I think they could have a really good game on their hands. It depends on how much they try and stick to that original formula, I guess.
And something I'm curious about is okay. It's a Suicide Squad game. The subtitle is "Kill the Justice League."
Yeah.
Will you be killing any superheroes in this game?
I
I
mean,
doubt it.
with that
Maybe.
title,
Yeah.
you
How could they not?
you would think so, but
Like, are you going to be killing Batman, killing the Flash, and Wonder Woman? Like, are you going to find them and try to and literally kill them? That would that's what I'm most interested to see. If they like sneak around that somehow and they don't, would be silly.
yeah, it's I well, what's the rating going to be? Do you know?
See
Cuz
if
oh yeah, I guess that would make sense.
I don't know where to look games on Steam.
It's not something that I've really concerned myself with over the years.
Right.
Um,
I guess it
Mature content. So maybe it's M rated.
might be.
It says it doesn't say rated M, but it says mature content description on Steam. So if that's the case, maybe you are killing um the Justice League. In which case, like they called it
See?
that. I kind of hope that they
You better
hold
be
true to
killing.
that.
Better be killing
Yeah, we
something
better
new.
be murdering some superheroes. I think they're like possessed or something. I don't think they're
Oh yeah, that's
like the
it,
normal like good
so.
guy Superman. I think they're
Yeah,
like corrupted in some way.
so you're probably just saving them or something like. But we'll see. Watch the State of Play tomorrow, and next episode we'll walk through all that. See if there's anything else cool that comes in. Now, indie and third party doesn't really get me too or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Another game that got a release month was Lies of P,
Yeah.
the Pinocchio Soulsborne looking ish game. They said August 1st through 31st. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I know you were really looking forward to that, right? I think you said it
Yeah.
was one of your most anticipated.
Yeah. Well, I think as of right now, there's not a ton of games coming out that I'm like super hyped for. But that was one that I at least saw. I was like, okay, yeah, that looks like it's a Souls like Pinocchio game. Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
that at least piqued my interest. So
that sounds pretty cool.
hmm yeah,
Oh,
so I'm excited to see at least how that turns out. Hopefully, maybe some more gameplay will be released for that over
yeah,
the
maybe
coming months.
that'd be cool if it was in the PlayStation State of
Well, I think it
Play.
was announced at a PlayStation event, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so
maybe we'll see some more of that.
that'd be cool.
All right, so that brings us to the Nintendo Direct. Was a few days ago.
hmm
Nothing earth-shattering. A lot of little remakes, a lot of little games.
hmm
Um, Probably the biggest thing is we got a new Tears of the Kingdom trailer,
Yeah, we
which was
did.
cool. Everybody's always waiting for a new trailer. I think I'm good though. I don't need to see anything more
Yeah, I think
about it.
they cut
Like
it here.
yep,
Like that, I think the hype is built. You don't need to do any more with it. Just
yep. Stop,
go
stop
radio
showing me.
silent
Yep,
until release.
stop showing me. Good. They showed like the vehicles.
hmm
Is probably the coolest part. Like I don't know if you can like make them or if that's just what everybody's vehicles are gonna look like. But Link's driving around on something. He's flying through the air on something. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Um, but that's I mean nobody knows where this game's gonna be going. There's definitely an aerial world, pieces of the
Yeah.
world that's up in the sky now. That'll be fun to explore. That's definitely a big new element. Different Sheikah abilities, it looks like. But
Which that'll be cool.
yeah, so forward to
I
that.
think
What is that? May 12th?
May 12th. Yep.
May 12th. Um,
Which means I
advanced.
need to get around to actually beating Breath of the Wild. So
Get on it, dude.
yeah,
On it.
I- I'll be working on that this week for sure. I think I've
Okay.
officially decided I'll bring my Switch with me on this trip and
Nice.
just knock it
Good.
out.
Yeah. It, it's it's such an easy game to love because I mean you can put 200 hours into it if you want, or you can put 20 hours into it
hmm
and go at your own pace, do whatever you want. I know we talked that overwhelms you a little bit with
Yeah,
not
a
having the
little.
structure, but you'll enjoy it once you get into it.
Yeah, I think I just need to. Every time I actually give it some time. Like I don't just pick it up, play for 20 minutes, and then put it down. If I give myself a few hours and really dive back into it, I get hooked again.
Yep. Yeah,
So
it's
I
not
just
a.
need to let that happen.
I don't think it's a bite-sized game. It's a game you need
No.
to really get into. It's not like a
Hmm.
Stardew Valley where you can just play a day or two, put it down for a while. No, you need to be
Yeah.
able to sit down and really get into this world.
Hmm.
Um, we're not going in any order here. This is kind of the highlights, correct? I guess. Like I said, nothing big came up.
Hmm.
Um, Advanced Wars 1 and 2 reboot, which Nintendo delayed indefinitely last year after the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Hmm.
They said this game is too inappropriate, I guess. Um,
It probably wouldn't have been a good time to put that
yeah.
out.
Um, I never played Advance Wars. It's a tactics game. It's
Hmm.
a very stylized anime style game, I guess.
Hmm.
I've played Wargroove, which is I think is supposed to be really close. The gameplay is very similar, I think.
Hmm.
I overly enjoy it. So I don't know. I'll probably be skipping this one. But that comes out April 21st.
Hmm.
The maybe the biggest announcement was you can play Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games on your
Yeah.
Switch now.
Hmm.
It is you do have to have the expansion pack to play the Game Boy Advance, but if you have the normal Nintendo One Boy, um, which is the one I have, so I dabbled in the Game Boy one, and it's sure
Yeah.
I'm.
It's there.
I scrolled through the games. I played Tetris for 5 minutes. I kind of scrolled through the rest, and that.
Hmm.
But it's kind of cool. I'm sure I never had a Game Boy, so I'm sure people that maybe are a little more nostalgic for
Hmm.
it. But
Yeah.
I think Game Boy Advance. Now this is my hope. Game Boy Advance. A lot of the old Fire Emblem games came to Game Boy Advance. So if they
Hmm.
start releasing those, then I'll have to get the expansion pack and play those there. That would be fun.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah. I mean, I owned a Game Boy and I think a Game Boy Advance at one point too.
You had a Game Boy
Not
like
like the OG
like
like
a Game Boy Color.
gray one. It was the one between the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. I think it was called the Game Boy Pocket,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was like a slim. I had the silver one, um, and I remember, I played
Sure. Okay.
like all I really played on that was Pokemon. I think
Yeah,
I
that's what I
might have
played on my
had
Advance.
no. I had a Donkey Kong game too. I do remember that. Um, I don't remember which one. Probably maybe Donkey Kong Country. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red. That was my jam.
See, I played one of those, so I must have had a. I don't know. I sure wish we would have realized how nostalgic we would have been for that stuff and not let our moms throw everything away or sell them at garage sales.
Oh man. So I lost my uh I think I actually brought this up in a video one time. I lost my um original Pokemon Yellow, um which I had like maxed out. I had my lineup on that had two Mewtwo's on it, which is like ridiculous. Um and yeah, I left it on a school bus
Oh no! So somebody
and I
got that.
never got it back. Yeah, somebody got a really great save file too.
And I bet their moms sold it at a yard sale.
Oh yeah. I
I
still
just
I still have most of my old. I mean, my N64 is behind me over here.
okay. Yeah, no, mine's gone.
Inside. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. It's over there somewhere.
Okay,
But yeah, don't know what happened to my Game Boys from from back then.
me neither. I did just search Pokemon Yellow on eBay to
Mm-hmm.
see how much it might be worth. There's one it's rated or certified A+ rating of Pokemon Special Pikachu Edition, Pokemon Yellow,
Mm-hmm.
$15,000.
Jesus.
Now, tell me why?
Is it still like in box or something?
Totally.
Yeah,
In
that's
box looks
got to
like
be.
it might still be shrink wrapped.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's definitely still shrink wrapped
yeah.
or re-shrink wrapped.
I mean, I wish I had that sort of like forward. I wish I was that forward thinking when I was a kid, but I was also not gonna get a game that I didn't buy, that my parents probably bought for me,
Right. Yep.
and just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna play it. I think when I'm
That's
35, I'll sell it, and it'll be worth a lot of money.
right. Uh,
I,
if they decide to bring Pokemon games, old Pokemon games to Nintendo Switch Online, that's gonna their their subscriber numbers are gonna skyrocket,
oh yeah,
and I don't think they're going to.
I don't
I
think so.
I think they're just gonna remake them and
Hmm.
charge $60 for them.
I mean, that's what Let's Go Pikachu was. It was literally
Yep.
just an updated version of Pokemon Yellow, and I bought that shit day one.
Better believe it. Same with Diamond and Pearl. I mean, they're just gonna keep doing that,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Next, there was a Metroid Prime remastered, Shadow Dropped, and we
Hmm.
both know how much we love Shadow Drops.
Love a good
There,
shadow drop.
nothing beats a good Shadow Drop. I played Metroid Prime when it originally came out,
Yeah.
and it was a weird experience. Like it's not a game I really ever thought about. I just knew I played it, but
Hmm.
I haven't seen any gameplay. And then watching that trailer and hearing the music and seeing the UI and stuff like that, I remember all. It was really cool. I liked that game, and I think I never beat it. I think I had to have like my old stepbrother help me beat.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of people are liking it.
Yeah.
Got improved controls now, which I can't remember how poorly it controlled back then because the GameCube had the C stick. I don't remember how it used to look around. Maybe it like
Yeah.
auto
I don't
aimed or
know.
something like. But
I don't know.
it looks really good. They did a good job. I think it was the same studio that made Metroid Prime way back in the day, able to remaster it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pikmin 4.
Yeah. We got
I
some
know you
gameplay for that.
I know you told me earlier that you are the world's biggest Pikmin.
Might have been a bit of an exaggeration.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, I have never played a Pikmin game.
Me neither.
A
Don't
lot
even know
of
what you do.
I really don't either. I know that I think the Pikmin are the little guys that
Yes,
follow you around or
I know
whatever.
that. I know that.
Okay. Yeah, I've never played one myself. A lot of YouTubers and whatnot that I follow are excited about it. So,
Hmm.
you know, good for everybody. Comes out on my
Absolutely.
birthday, so
Oh,
that's
does
pretty
it?
neat. Yeah.
A happy
Um,
birthday to you. There's
oh
also a
yeah,
dog. So a dog.
there is a
Very
dog. It
very
doesn't have a
cute.
nose, but it's a cute little good boy.
He is. So that kind of did it for the really big ones. Um, Samba de Amigo, which I've always heard of. I just never knew what it was. Another rhythm game,
Yeah, I
which
know the
is
name, but that's about it.
so many rhythm games. Like somebody a few years ago did some market research and was like, rhythm games. Those are going to take off in 20 for sure. Uh, Bait and Kaito's remaster again. That's another one that I've always heard of. Didn't know what it was. Kind of looks like a fantasy RPG card game, card
Hmm.
based. That looked kind of interesting. Very old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in 2004 originally. Fashion Dreamer. You ever
Which
wanted to be a fashion influencer?
I know you're very excited about that one.
I if it had a good like checklist format, like sign me up.
Yeah.
Like if I can make my way to a goal, like uh I would do it. Dead Cells return to Castlevania. A lot of Castlevania fans are excited for this. I've heard podcasts and around the internet and stuff. It's like I don't think there's been a new Castlevania game and people really like that. Stop me if you have any thoughts. I'm just gonna roll through these.
Don't really have much to say. I would like to get into a Castlevania or just a Metroidvania type game in general, but
Mm-hmm.
just not a genre that I've really broken into yet.
Well, we're gonna talk exactly why I will not be playing this a little later.
Okay.
Um, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. I don't really remember about. I'm just gonna Splatoon 3 expansion pass was announced. I've never played any Splatoon. I think I would like it.
Yeah.
It's not gotten into yet.
I guess they added a stage from the original Splatoon game,
Yep,
which that's
that's
cool.
wave
Little
one.
little throwback.
Wave two. Like if you watch that direct and you see the little snippet, little teaser for wave two, it
Hmm.
was super. Word I want to use is like artistic almost,
Yeah.
and just like you pan down onto one of these what are they called? What are the people called? Squids. The name for them. Oh boy, I'm sorry. But it
Splats?
kind
I don't know.
of it pans down into like a black and white world. It was really
Okay.
cool. I thought the trailer itself was really
Hmm.
cool. Fantasy Life I Girl Who Steals Time. That looked kind of
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
there was another there was a oh it was Deca Police. Which seemed like a
I don't remember that one.
yeah, it's not in this list we're looking at. But it was like it was a Japanese game. I'm assuming it's a JRPG. But you're police, detectives or something like that. And it had turn-based combat, so that looked kind of fun. Might be a maybe for
Oh
me.
yeah.
Yeah, terrible
Okay, I
name,
remember.
but
Yeah, I remember that one. Okay.
so that kind of wraps up. Correct. Nothing huge.
Yeah, the only other thing that I saw that I don't even know if I'm excited about, but I own it, so I'll probably check it out as the next course pack for Mario Kart 8.
Oh yeah,
Um they're bringing in a Yoshi's Island course, and then there's a bunch of people who are really excited that Birdo is now a playable character.
good old Birdo.
Yeah.
She's here.
So
They're here.
so that's cool. Mario Kart's it's a fantastic game. So
Mm-hmm. Best
I
selling
I
game
wish
on
I had
Switch.
more. Yeah, but I wish I could play with people more often, because when the new courses come out, I'll just jump in, do the time trial for them just to, you know, see the new course, but that's basically it. Like I don't get to get the full race experience very often,
Sure. Do you have
which
the
I guess I
expansion?
could play. I
You
don't think I have the expansion.
you just
Um,
bought the
no, yeah, I just bought the booster
gotcha.
pack for Mario Kart
Yeah.
because I've always
Because
been a
if
big Mario Kart fan.
yeah, because if you have the expansion pack, uh, all the courses come with it free.
Hmm.
Quote.
Yeah,
Same with a few other DLCs for Animal Crossing and
yeah, the Paradise something. I bought it for Jetpack because she was big into Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing was fun for a while, and then I fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I think
Once
I.
once once I design my whole island, and I just really wish you could choose your village. Really wish you could.
Hmm.
Said it's all random, and you just I wanted an island of wolves. I wanted a lot of wolves. Never saw a single wolf,
Hmm.
and I got like eagles and bears. I'm like, okay, we don't need to go
Anyway.
down. We don't want to go down an Animal Crossing rabbit hole. So I think that's gonna bring us our random reviews. Now I think both of us didn't necessarily get a whole lot of time to put into these. I put about 4 hours into my game, Shantae and the Seven Sirens, and I took some notes, stuff like that. Um, these aren't going to be in depth. Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, I'll let you. I'll let you say your bit.
Okay. All right. So Shantae and the Seven Sirens is the fifth Shantae game, uh, fifth game in the Shantae series. It came out in 2019, originally for, which I thought was interesting, was Apple Arcade. It didn't come to consoles until the next year in 2020, uh, which I was kind of surprised to see. I mean, apparently they changed a whole bunch of stuff in the console version with quality of life uh,
Hmm.
improvements and stuff like that. It was just kind of weird. It didn't play like a phone, like a phone call.
Hmm.
Um, the Shantae series began in 2002, or the original game was called Shantae for the Game Boy Color, and I didn't realize it was that old. I thought that was just kind of cool diving into just to get to see all the different entries and that.
Hmm.
It's developed by Way Forward. Um, they made all the Shantae games. They're currently, or they're the ones that worked on the Advance Wars remake that we just talked about. Uh, so they just did that, which I thought was kind of. I was looking to see what like they had any famous games or their most recent game. They made a lot of licensed games, so saw a lot of Barbie. I saw a lot of there's like a couple Godzilla games. So they must be like a studio that just kind of helps other studios make these licensed games.
Hmm.
Their main game is Shantae. They might have a few. This game is a Metroidvania, and if you don't know what that is, which I barely do, I I I know one when I see one, but I could never explain to somebody what a Metroidvania is. So I looked it up, and by definition, Metroidvania is a subgenre of action adventure games and or platformers focused on guided, non-linearity, utility gated exploration and progression, which is a lot of fancy words, but it describes it perfectly. So
Yeah.
you have these 2D maps, uh, and you can walk around them. And as you walk to one side of the screen, it'll fade to black, and you'll get a new 2D screen, and you're kind of going up, down, left, right, every direction, and you're getting new screens and stuff like that. And you're going to run into locked passages on these screens, and your goal is to advance through the game and unlock new abilities to pass through these utility gated things. And I have learned I do not like Metroidvanias,
Hmm.
not one bit. And, and that's a me thing. Definitely, there's nothing wrong with the genre itself. I hate exploring and running into something that I just can't access. And I'm like, well, okay, I got to remember that that's there. And then once I maybe get an ability that can pass through that. I got to go back there, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so it's a Metroidvania through and through. If you like Metroidvanias, if you don't hate Metroidvanias like me, I think this is a very good Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the enemies. Before I want to get into this story first, kind of before I get into the. You play as Shantae, uh, same girl that's in the title. You go to an island called Paradise Island where you're going to put on you and a bunch of other. I'm sorry, Shantae is a genie uh, who can use magic dances.
Okay.
You're invited to Paradise Island with a bunch of other genies where you're going to put on the show for people. Um, the other genies that you meet are named Plink, Vera, Zapple, Harmony, and Philin. That one wrong. Um, but right before the show starts, tragedy strikes, and all your genie friends are kidnapped except for you. You got to go find them. And as you're traversing through this world, you start to find. First, you run into a character named Risky Boots, which I'm assuming is a reoccurring character or recurring
Mm-hmm.
character. And Shantae immediately blames Risky Boots for stealing or kidnapping her genie friends. Turns out it's not Risky Boots. Risky Boots is only after some treasure. She reveals that it's these 7 sirens kidnapped her. So you're traversing through all these maps, all these areas to find these 7 sirens. And as you are going through this world, uh, you're attacking with your ponytail.
Okay.
You swing your head, and you're taking out monsters with your ponytail. Like I said, you also have magic. Uh, a There's only a few spells: Pike Ball, Fireball, and Homing Rockets. There might be a few more unlocked later. I didn't get too. My favorite was the Pike Ball, which had like I'm assuming spiked balls spinning around you. So
Mm-hmm.
if any enemy comes near you, they get damaged by spinning balls. I thought the enemies were really cool. They were really unique and creative. Every area, biome, whatever word you want to use, had different enemies. Uh, and as you defeat some enemies, some of them drop cards, and that's kind of the main mechanic of this game. I think as you collect cards from these enemies, you can gain passive abilities. If you like a certain enemy, you need to collect 5 of their cards.
Mm-hmm.
Once you collect 5, you unlock a passive ability, uh, such as like your crawl speed is increased, or it increases the damage, your spells, or the speed of your spells, things like that. That was like the coolest part to me. There was probably 24 cards you can unlock, all that have different passive abilities. So I think that's the main mechanic. That my personal favorite that I unlocked was there's vases throughout the world that if you hit, you get gems, or you get health boosts, or magic potion refills. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite passive ability unlocked was I didn't have to attack those anymore. They just break as soon as I run into them.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool, just jumping around. Didn't have to worry about stopping and attacking or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you're working through the world, there's a bunch of mini bosses where the exits of the screen get blocked off. You're forced to fight the enemies that are in there. Those are Those are fun. They were difficult, honestly. I was a little worried about the difficulty at the beginning, but as you move on and you get to those bosses, mini bosses, they get harder. And then the sirens are fairly difficult too. I fought two of them. There's seven, obviously. I fought the water lily siren and the coral siren. Those fights were pretty unique and gave a different spin on it. Like there's environmental parts of the map uh, that you have to interact with. I think I shared a story last time about fighting the water lily one where I had to hit a button on one side of the map to move the siren around, and that caused damage there. But once you defeat those sirens, you can free your genie friends that person or that siren kidnapped. Use your magic with that siren. You unlock new abilities, or with that genie, to unlock even more abilities, which
Okay.
leave like that's how you unlock new skills to advance through the world. Like there's sand blocking some of the progression through the world, and you unlock one where you're able to, once you free a certain genie, you're able to drill through all that sand, or you're able to smash rocks that are blocking your way, or you can climb on walls after fusing with a certain genie. It just does that. And then you can use certain genies will combine their magic with yours to dance. One of the face buttons to dance, and you can use those dances to either reveal hidden objects on the map. So if you get to a section of the map where there's just absolutely no way to progress, do that certain dance, and it could reveal a couple platforms that you. It's pretty random, and I don't know. I was reading a little bit about it, how it was reviewed, and people said it's a pretty confusing game. It's hard to know exactly what you're supposed to do, and I definitely ran into that. I had to find a guide to kind of get through last hour or something like that because had no idea where to go. The map is big. There's a lot of places to go, and a lot of places to have to explore, and a lot of, I don't know, if you ever played a Metroidvania, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's kind of a pain to go from one corner of the map to the other and just be lost. It's a frustrating to be lost in a Metroidvania like that.
Yeah.
There are warp rooms, make it a little easier if you can get to them. But again, go. So again, this is a me thing, not a Shantae thing. I didn't like it just because it's not my genre. You know, I would get my least favorite genre the first game I have to review. But
yeah.
I think if you like Metroidvanias, if they don't bother you, you will like this game. It's fun. A lot of different types of enemies, good progression. Like I said, the enemy cards that you have to collect. It's that would be a lot of fun trying to go through and collect all those passive abilities. Yeah. I would also like to point out. I tried looking. I mentioned last time that there's a lot of porn on Reddit. I would like to point out that the Not Safe for Work Shantae subreddit has more followers than the not safe for work.
Oh yeah. God.
The Shantae Hente subreddit has like 1,000 or 1,500 more followers than just the normal Shantae. So
oh my God.
Yeah, they reached a certain type of audience, and it's pretty obvious. I mean, like all the women, they're dressed in as small clothing as possible and stuff like that. So that's something to keep in mind.
They knew who they were trying to target, I think.
They did. They definitely did. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of boobage. A whole lot of boobage.
Yeah, sounds about
but anyway,
right.
that's Shantae and the Seven Sirens. I didn't put as much time as I would have liked to in it, but I didn't. I didn't have fun. Somebody who likes Metroidvania, a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for your first random review. So
What a blessing. One time it's been.
I can tell that you're changed for the better
I
after this
am.
experience.
Definitely am. I've never played another Metroidvania in my life. That's why I will not be playing the Castlevania expansion. Dead
That's
Cells.
fair. Yeah. All right. Well, so my game was Assault Android Cactus Plus.
What a
Uh,
great name.
Fantastic. Um, so I initially released as just Assault Android Cactus um, back in 2015 on Windows and uh, Mac OS and Linux. Put on PlayStation 4 in 2016, Xbox One in 2017, and 2019 it came to Switch as Android Cactus Plus. So,
Perfect.
um, it's a twin stick top down shooter, um, or as I said in the last video, and I think it still holds up, it's like bullet hell for kids.
Perfect.
Um,
Yes.
and overall, I mean, I got maybe halfway through it. Um, Overall, I would say is pretty good. I think I'm kind of in the same boat as you. It's not the type of game I would normally seek out.
Hmm.
Um, but for what it is, I think it's very good. So to get into the story, you play as an android named Cactus, who is like a space cop, and the game, to its credit, drops you right into the action. Like the opening scene is you flying your ship onto this much larger kind of charter spaceship um, that humans live on, and the goal is um, to join the other androids who work on this ship in taking down the robots who have taken over the ship and are basically holding the humans on the ship hostage. Um, and you know, from the little intro section, you start playing as Cactus just so you can learn the controls. But as soon as you're done with that, it goes into a stage based game. So each level is a new stage, and it's just constant enemies, which I would say the main enemies that you see are these kind of spider looking robots that are very fast but very easy to kill. And then throughout the level, there'll be some um, sort of mini bosses, if you will. They're a bit stronger or have um, more powerful abilities. Um, but then throughout the game, you can pick up power ups that can either give you super speed or it can basically double your bullet output. So, um, really turning it into a true bullet hell type
Hmm.
game.
Yeah.
And
Typical.
also, yeah.
Typical twin stick shooters.
Mm-hmm. Um, and the other thing that I thought was cool is right after that opening intro section, from the first level, you can now choose between four androids that all have different guns, they all have different abilities. Um, and I didn't dive too much into the story, but they all have kind of their own personalities. And um, when you go up against the four main bosses, um, which I think they're called like Robot Mothers or something. I don't remember what their title is, but there's four of them. Um, and when you go up against them, depending on what character you're playing as, which I played as all four against the first boss because it was very hard,
Hmm.
and I struggled to get past it. Um, there's different dialogue prompts for, or not dialogue prompts. You don't choose dialogue, but there's different dialogue between the character you're playing as and the boss, depending on who you're playing.
Okay, cool.
Um, so I thought that was interesting. And then after you beat one of the four main bosses, you get a new android that you can choose from that has new abilities. Um, so in total, I believe uh, there are 9 androids that you can unlock and choose to play. And every single stage, you can choose to switch between androids, or you can kind of replay levels as different people to bring your time down or whatever you want to do. Um, and yeah, I've gotten probably about halfway through it. I don't know if it's a game I'm going to finish, just
Yeah,
because,
same for
again,
me.
not the type of game that I would usually play.
Hmm.
But overall, a solid game for what it is. I'm looking at the scores for it right now. It's got a 79 on Metacritic for PC and 85 on PS4. So
Mm.
it's done really well. Um, and I looked into the uh, developer. It's called Witchbeam, which,
Cool
according
name.
to their website, they only have 3 games. There's Tempopo, which is a cont. This is
Excuse
a
me?
word that a contemplative puzzle game.
Can't say that on the internet. Jesus.
Oh God, that's not what I meant. Anyway, it's a contemplative puzzle game about planning and execution. I don't know what that means, um, but the other game besides Android Cactus that they have in their roster is called Unpacking, which is a game that I and Jetpack are familiar with
Wow. Okay,
because
that was a pretty popular game.
yeah, um, so Jetpack actually played that on stream. Um, and that's a pretty interesting game. It's not, it's definitely a lot less, or a lot slower paced than
Yeah,
something like this. Um, but yeah, that was a very popular game for them. So I'm glad to
that's
see that they found some success.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it sounds like, um, despite my feelings on it, Assault Android Cactus does have some accolades of its own. So
Did you look at
good.
the Assault Cactus subreddit?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm kind of afraid to. I will say that
Good
there,
idea.
it doesn't seem like the type of game that would have that sort of following, but
An
again,
NSFW site too.
it doesn't seem like it. But I also think that there's probably people who could turn anything into
Rule 34, my
a
friend.
site
Rule
like that.
34. Don't forget about rule.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that is my very poorly put together review of Assault Android Cactus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's kind of sounds like a game I would have fun with. Uh,
I think you might.
yeah,
It's very, very fast paced, which you can expect from a twin stick shooter. Um, but yeah, it's. I think that there's definitely a lot of people who would enjoy it. I just personally am not one of them. But
I think that's gonna be a problem we run into doing this kind of segment. Is I don't know, like the games I really enjoy are like single player RPGs. So
mhm.
getting getting all these random ones, but every game's important. Every game matters.
Yeah,
So I think it's kind of fun just to broaden our horizons a little bit, play
yeah,
games we wouldn't have. Because who knows? Like I'd never heard of Shantae, and it's a pretty a long running series.
hmm
Got several installments. Like what other game is out there that I haven't heard of that could possibly be my? That's kind of fun. A fun way to maybe try to find that.
yeah.
But
I think I think that's something cool about just Switch in general is
for sure,
every Nintendo Direct, I see 5 to 10 games that I've never heard of, but all have are like long running series that like every single thing, even if I'm not excited about it, like I might go away from a direct thinking like that was kind of ass. Someone probably liked that, or like
Yeah.
someone was probably excited about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I'll watch a stream or I'll go on Twitter afterwards and people are like, oh, I can't believe Samba de Amigos coming to Switch. Like, so excited. Like,
yeah.
good for you, honestly. Like,
Hmm.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
like
right. The Switch has something for everybody, which I
yeah.
think is what Nintendo really wants to go for.
Hmm. Cuz like
They're accomplishing it.
yeah, cuz like I'm a PlayStation guy through and through. All of those series are exactly what I go for, but
Mm-hmm.
there's not they're not for everybody.
No.
And same thing with like Xbox exclusives. Like they have kind of their type of games that they push, and they're not going to be for everybody. Where Nintendo, like they are trying to cover all the bases.
Yeah,
Like,
they are, and they have. There's,
hmm,
like I said, there's something for everyone, and I think that's good. Video games are supposed to be for
yeah,
fun. Okay, so that's does it for that. I don't know how often we want to do this. Probably not super often, but well, we'll talk about it.
yeah.
We'll do another
Maybe,
one.
and maybe the next episode we'll pick a couple more games, and I don't think it needs to be something that we like pick a game one week and then review it the next. I think it
Yeah,
can be kind of
we can take our
a,
time for sure,
mhm.
especially with both of our schedules. It's
Oh
kind
yeah.
of like it was hard enough getting 4 hours into this, um, with Fire Emblem too, and
Hmm.
other games coming out.
Yeah.
But all right, we're at about an hour and a half now. Why don't we save Last of Us discussions for maybe next week,
Yeah.
or not next week? We
Yeah.
can, because we're what, 3 episodes away from the end.
Yeah.
Seven is this weekend.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be getting kind of like the Left Behind DLC stuff, which I think is cool that they're including.
Yeah. I think this week we'll get the Left Behind story, and then probably the following weeks, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but
Mm-hmm.
the section of the game with David, if anyone knows who that is, I
See,
think that's probably episode 8.
I'm at the point where I don't remember everything. I remember how the game ends,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember, like I don't remember who David is.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be an interesting one for people who aren't familiar, and for people
yeah,
that are, I think uh I'm a little bit nervous to see how that turns out, honestly, just
big
because
time.
that's a rough section of the game. Like I'm a little bit afraid to see what
Let's see what they
people's
do
reactions are. But yeah,
in
we can.
the next few episodes. Is that what you say? Before
Yeah,
the end, or okay?
yeah, and then
I don't.
obviously the end is gonna be
Yeah, that's gonna set up a lot of stuff. I'm just
yeah.
excited. I'm excited for this new audience. I've said it before.
Hmm.
This new audience that gets to experience the ending and the repercussions that it has for
Hmm.
season two. But all right, I think that's gonna do it. Us. That's episode number 8. Done 8 of them
Yeah.
in I don't know how long, seven
Like
months or something like that.
yeah, something like
Hey,
that.
hey, we're gonna try to get these a little more frequent. I would
Hmm.
love to have these bi-weekly, but Jake travels a lot, so we're going to try um, having him record while he's on the road. See how it goes. If the quality's not good, we'll just have to do it whenever you're back.
Yeah.
No big deal. But all right,
Yeah.
that does it for us. As always, leave a comment down below. Read it off. Um, any questions you got? Comment on anything like that. Go check out uh, Jake and his girlfriend's channel, Gooba and Jetpack. They make really funny videos. Lots of Nancy Drew stuff. They're now TikTok famous after their last TikTok. Go
stop.
follow them there. Watch their stuff. Watch my stuff at Justin Games. I'm currently working through Near Automata, however you want to pronounce it. Hopefully get into Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order soon, or
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor comes out. Yeah, check us out there. But I think do it, Jake. Any final words for everybody?
Just keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming. That's gonna be the catchphrase from now on. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming.